Is that a plastic horse? Of course, of course! We're back. Good afternoon and welcome to the 40-plus acre paradise located just off the 15 freeway south of Corona, California, known as Tom's Farms. It's one of those farm stands that was so successful it's almost become theme park-esque. You know, the kind of spot where you can get your pumpkins in the fall, your Christmas tree in the winter, and fresh produce and delicious treats all year round. Now we've come here on a random weekday, sort of in the off season, because of course pumpkin patch season is done. Christmas decorating season at Tom's Farms is not quite here yet. But even on a random weekday when nothing's going on, there's plenty to see here at Tom's Farms, including this giant Julio. Would you look at the size of that chicken? You can see the hills over there behind the produce stand, and then behind me where I'm standing, some more mountains off that way. This area is called Temescal Canyon, just sort of around the corner from Disneyland, about 45 minutes or so, just south of Corona. It's old farming and ranching land. In fact, Wyatt Earp's father owned some land here in this canyon back in the 1860s, 70s, 80s, something like that. Now, Wyatt Earp famously once lived in Kansas and Missouri, and Tom's Farms here was actually founded by a native of Kansas City, Missouri, a fella by the name of Tom Barnes, who moved out here in the 1970s and first opened a produce stand in nearby Lake Elsinore till the landowner wanted his land back. And then after that brief experiment, found some land here in Temescal Canyon, where at first he began selling produce out of the back of his pickup truck, then opened up a little modest produce stand, and finally in 1974 built a big produce stand and then added a little hamburger stand onto that, and it's been growing ever since. But keep in mind, Tom started farming in this area before the 15 freeway was even here. After it came here, it grew exponentially, adding this massive, massive building you see here in the mid-90s. Because, I mean, once you're successful at selling produce and hamburgers on the side of the road, what's the next logical step? A furniture store, of course. This is one of those places I love to come to if I have to head down to Lake Elsinore or Temecula from my area. A little gem of the Inland Empire, quite famous in this little area. Still, thankfully, mostly undiscovered by the residents of Orange and LA counties. And like I mentioned, it's always good to come here, even on a random weekday when it's quiet and no one's around, half the attractions are closed. We always love to stop by here because Allie likes to get the little cherry pies they've got on offer. But I'm not here today for attractions or cherry pies, although I ought to pick one up for her. I'm here because, and I never thought I'd be saying this, Tom's Farms has now got a footnote in my personal history book, as it's just become officially the very first place that my new Randomland Hot Sauce has gone on sale in a retail location. Now, it's been selling well. It's been restocked a couple of times already, but I'm still hoping to find some bottles on the shelves. I had a little interruption with that trip to Yuba City, so I couldn't make it down when it first went on the shelf, but I'm here, I don't know, 5 days later or so, and I cannot wait to see if some Julio's Jalapeno is still here. Dude, I'm stoked. Kind of nervous, kind of excited. Can't wait to see if it's on the shelf. Gotta remember to pick up that cherry pie. Let's head inside. Oh yeah, dude, this is one of those places you just have to love. All kinds of fresh baked goods, lots of little gourmet packaged foods, all kinds of crazy different snacks. I mean, if you want a pickle in a bag, you've got quite a selection over here at Tom's Farms. Look at this. You got all kinds of smoked salmon over here. Shrimp snacks made with real shrimp. All sorts of jalapeno bread and nuts and puffs. And look at this, even some gluten-free snacks, some gluten-free crackers all over the shop. Also got all kinds of strange drinks, you know. Here you have your frosty root beer. You got your jarritos down here. A couple of novelty and gourmet sodas. Look at this. What is this, a Grateful Dead pale ale? Ooh, and as you'd expect from a fancy farm stand, plenty of fancy wine in here to take home with you. Actually, look at this weird bottle right there. That bottle of wine is a cat. Okay, there's all kinds of weird seasonings here. You have some Tom's Farms seasoning mix, but you also have a lot of strange Louisiana-style food mixtures, Cajun seasonings, Ragin' Cajun beans over here. In fact, I got some packaged up Tom's Farms bean and chili mixes. Oh, looks like they have some Tom's Farms wine here. I love this place. Where else would you have a stagecoach next to a major award? Baskets hanging from the ceilings. I love these murals up here. I don't know if I've ever noticed those before. Here's some of those fresh pies they have. Fancy gift baskets, perfect for the Christmas season coming up. Oh, and what's this right inside the front door? I see hot sauce. And not just any hot sauce. I see the hot sauce. Check this out right on the shelf, the Randomland Hot Sauce. This is weird. This is like a dream come true in that, you know, this hot sauce, this flavor is just available whenever you want it. Look at it right on the shelf, right next to our partners, Music to Your Mouth. Johnny Hot Sauce that runs that company helped me to create this recipe and guided me through the whole manufacturing process. He's the guy that actually handles the retail side of things. My sauce is too hot. He's got this great sort of mild Himalayan jalapeno. It's very sweet, very good. If you really like spicy, he's got this stuff over here, Himalayan habanero, which it's really more of a Caribbean type of hot sauce. I think he originally wanted to call it Jamaican Me Sweat. That is good stuff right there. And then right next to those bottles, the Randomland Hot Sauce. Ooh, just a couple of bottles left. They have been getting through it, that's for sure. This is trippy, dude. My face, my little cartoon face, is on this label. I drew this label, and now it's in a store. That's the first time in my life, unless you count my records being in record shops back when I was in a band, but that was more of a team effort. This is the first time in my life I have put a product that you can consume on store shelves. Dude, that is a trip. I have got to buy a bottle on the way out of here and just keep the receipt, put it in a scrapbook or something. Man, I knew it was here. People have been tagging me in photos that they have taken here, grabbing the Randomland Hot Sauce over the past week. It's another thing entirely to actually see it on the shelves right next to Cholula or Pepper Plant or whatever they got going on in here. Oh, look at this. We got a competitor over here, the General's Hot Sauce. It's almost the same type of bottle my cologne is in. This is so freaking cool. The Randomland Hot Sauce, a little pricier than the other ones, but you get 12 ounces, and I'm making them in very, very tiny batches. The goal is, if we sell enough of this, if we sell thousands and thousands, so that we can start ordering them in much bigger quantities, then the price will hopefully come down in the future. So I'm very grateful for those of you who have gotten interested in the sauce and are picking up the bottles. You are helping me build, you know, a universe or a future, if we're lucky, where we can make that stuff in greater quantities. You know, we got to get it on some more store shelves. And hopefully, you know, maybe in a year or two, that price will come down and down and down, and we can worry about future flavors and stuff like that. Or it's just something that exists now for the short term. We all enjoy it, and then it goes the way of the dodo. We'll see. This is so exciting, dude. I love this so much. Over here, they got pizza, they got spaghetti, they got all kinds of good stuff over here at the Tom's Farms burger, pizza, hot dog area, whatever it is. They're all staring at me wandering around here. Kind of manic and excited. I had a few offers from friends to come down here with me, but I was sort of nervous. I just wanted to see it alone, you know, and now that I'm here, it still doesn't feel real. It just feels trippy. Out of all these products, we've got one right over there, right behind the cash register in the little hot sauce section. That rules. All right, I found the delicious Tom's Farm cherry turnover that Allie wants. That's the one she likes. And now I can't help this. It's a little cheesy, but I am going to grab this bottle. I'm going to buy my own hot sauce off the shelf. First thing I did when my first album that was ever in a record store got into record stores, I went to the Virgin Megastore in Times Square. No, the first time was the Virgin store in Washington, D.C. That's right, and bought my record. Then I bought another one in Times Square. And then I bought another one at Tower Records here in Orange County. Sort of a waste of money in a sense, but it's just too awesome not to do it. All right, it's my turn. I'm doing this. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Oh,
I'm just buying my own hot sauce right now.
is this you?
Yeah, that's me.
Really?
I have to buy my own hot sauce,
Well,
you know?
you know what? I've been selling it.
Oh,
and
that's
I can always tell
awesome.
that. And I'm going, how? I have never heard of this, and yet it's selling. And they said he's a
Yeah. It's brand new.
What am I saying?
YouTuber, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And I went, no wonder what a perfect market to have, because I'm seeing all different age groups. It's not just
that's awesome.
a certain thing. I mean, I've seen guys come in that are like, 40 years old, and I've seen guys come in that are like in their 20s and 30s.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
my wife
cool?
wanted the cherry turnover, and I was like, I gotta buy my own hot sauce, from a store.
I gotta have
It's
somebody
good.
tell me how it tastes.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah.
Dude, that was very, very exciting. I mean, not just that the hot sauce I helped create is located in a retail location, but if you know me at all, you know I'm a huge lover of mom and pop businesses, of local attractions, roadside attractions, stuff like that. So it's so fitting and perfect. At the first two places the hot sauce has been put on the shelf are epic roadside attractions. First, Tom's Farms, You'll see the other one next time. If you've never been out here, it's a perfect place to stop for a restroom break on the 15 freeway. Really clean bathrooms. Nobody ever talks about that, but that's important. And as you can see back here, a sign that things are not always this calm. You got some carnival rides back here, a Ferris wheel. Probably only closed at the moment because they're getting ready for the big Christmas season. If you're not here for furniture shopping or the old popcorn shop, you can grab a bite to eat from one of the 3 restaurants here. I think there might actually be 4 places to buy food at Tom's Farm. And then head back behind the produce stand where they have a sort of little patio area where you can eat the food you buy inside. And then look at this area back here. This is where the fun begins. Just back here behind the produce stand, you can see the little beautiful turtle pond. And behind that, they've got a petting zoo. They've got pony rides. There's a little train ride that they do from time to time. All of those little carnival rides are back there. It's just a great place to bring the fam. Now, unfortunately, like I said, it's mostly closed today, right? Like the petting zoo gate is closed right here. But you can see they have some beautiful garden areas. I believe they do a lot of weddings out here, party rentals, stuff like that. Really still a community place, although Tom Barnes sadly passed away just after the turn of the century, I believe today. The owner is the same guy who owns the Glen Ivy Spa, a very fancy health spa, you know, massages and all that kind of stuff. And of course today, Temecula, Lake Elsinore, that area that's just south of us, is a big wine producing region, and it's no longer just like sort of a joke, you know. The Temecula wines have become very, very fancy and well respected. So we're sort of on the border of a new, very serious wine country. See, look, the amusement park area is closed because it's been raining and pouring in Southern California. In fact, everything here is still soaked, although it looks nice and sunny to you. You could smell that moisture in the air. But look at this, train ride, merry-go-round, Ferris wheel, drop tower. You got mining company, shooting gallery, petting zoo, pony ride. Lots of stuff here.
Oh, I hope they reopen soon. I need to be milked.
Gorgeous. A weird, beautiful day here. Like I said, I was distracted by our short trip to Yuba City. We wanted to do some filming up there, but the weather was no good. Who knew that it'd be raining all the way from down here, all the way up to Yuba City and beyond? This has definitely been one of the strangest years of my life. Some really high highs, some really low lows. I mean, in this year, I rode Indiana Jones with John Rhys Davies, went to the opening of Epic Universe, Disneyland 70th anniversary, Goonies 40th anniversary, Back to the Future. Oh, I forgot all about the ice cream and fudge out here at this other stand in the parking lot. Looks like they've closed that up for the day. Ooh, but the candy side is still open. That's good. We did a lot of Disney World this year, some road trips, a couple of throw pillows, a TV news reporter. The hot sauce has come out, and yet I've also been really, really struggling with health problems, internal bleeding, getting ready for surgery that's coming up here. I've had some crazy peaks and then lately a lot of valleys and interruptions, and you've seen the flow of videos slow down. In fact, I'm feeling genuinely awful even at this very moment. Although I must say, oh my gosh, look at the size of this candy selection. I must say, the hot sauce stuff is really cheering me up. Oh, I love that. It's been so long since I've seen these little candy sticks. Man, they got everything. They got gummies, lemon drops, got all kinds of chocolate covered everything back here. Sour ropes, sour straws. Wow, look at all the fudge. They packed a lot of fudge at Tom's Farms. This place is nuts. Ooh, honey roasted cashews. Got some sort of commercial candy back here and all those little knickknacks, like, you know, your Game Boy shaped candy container and all that stuff. I remember being a kid and wanting that little 1989 Batman bubblegum dispenser. I very rarely ever had little toy candy things like Pez dispensers or anything like that when I was a kid. Wasn't enough money for that stuff. Oh, look at this coming out of the candy store. Some freezers back here with ice cream in them. Oh, look at, we got the produce market. All kinds of fresh produce back in here. You got jams and jellies, Tom's Farm brand jams and jellies. Gosh, there's so much stuff in here, you know. They must move a lot of product. Oh, there's even some potted plants for sale back there. What the heck? Red Hot soda. Oh yeah, you got Japanese drinks, you got Jones soda, IBC root beer. It's been so long. Been so long since Dad's root beer. There's something I haven't seen for a while. That Route 66 orange soda is pretty darn good. Oh, lemonade. The favorite drink of New York City. I'm just checking in here because they have these other shelves that also have some hot sauces on them. I don't think the Randomland Hot Sauce is in this section. They haven't had enough in stock to keep it in 2 places, I don't believe. Oh yeah, there you go. You got your novelty hot sauces right here that you see at different roadside attractions. See, we don't sell as much as these guys do. If we did, we could start dropping the price down, which I'm looking forward to one day. You gotta think of it as like boutique hot sauce, right? Oh, honey, look! It's honey! Look at this. You can actually dispense honey from a little machine right there. Oh, I like this. They have all these little sample-sized bears of different kinds of local honey. Ooh, even some honeycomb right here. My buddy Adrian, he loves that stuff. I have to grab some of this for my brother for Christmas. He loves fresh honey. That was so cool, that lady in the other little stand area talking about the people coming through and getting the hot sauce. That just warmed the cockles of my heart. When I first decided to make hot sauce, everybody thought I was nuts. But who's nuts now, little cow? They said I was crazy. Who's the one that's crazy these days, huh?
Moo, I mean you.
Yeah, crazy like a fox. All right. Getting a little too excited in the empty produce stand over here. I'm gonna take my honey up to the counter. Look at those jars of pickles right there. It's a lot of pickles. I don't need any bubblegum cigars or gummy tacos today, but it's good to know they're here for the future. Yeah, it's kind of funny. The guy at the counter was like, would you like some chocolate-covered insects today? I was like, no, I'm good for the moment. Got my jar of honey and my bottle of water. Kind of nice for it to be empty and kind of chill out here so I can sit down and rest every couple of minutes. That's been my issue lately, is I've needed a lot more rest than normal. I get quite dizzy lately. Been losing a lot of blood. Theoretically, if I get dizzy, I'm supposed to go and go to urgent care and check if I need a blood transfusion. I've been trying to avoid that. Trying to put that off as long as possible. All right, now look at this. Look at this absolutely massive old house looking building over here. That's the Tom's Farms Bar and Grill. I've never seen this open, but I usually don't come down here on the crazy busy weekends. So the main attraction, the main thing that's open when I do come by is always this, a weird furniture store. And I say weird furniture store because inside, well, I'll just have to show you. This is not typically what you think of when you think of a furniture store. All right, luckily it's still open. Look at this. Would you look at the size of this place and the scope of the items in here? Oh, I can smell that potpourri. Oh man, Christmas is already in full swing. I'm not even ready for Christmas yet. Sort of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree thing going on here. I guess I have to wrap my brain around Christmas soon because it's already taken over the Disney parks. Wasn't feeling good enough to go the first day of Christmas, but I plan on rectifying that soon. Check out the strange mirrored Frosty over here. That's certainly didn't have those kind of Christmas decorations in my grandma's house. See what I mean? It's like a infinity mirror inside of there. Got a lot of Kris Kringles and Papa Noel. And this is just the very beginning, the entrance of the shop. If you go back deeper and deeper, there is indeed furniture here. Look at these comfy, ugly chairs, man. I want one so bad. There's a reason all of our grandma's houses have these ugly chairs in them. Because they're comfortable. But Allie doesn't want to give in to ugly comfort quite yet. She likes things to be aesthetically pleasing. Well, as aesthetically pleasing as we can afford so far. Look at that, they got chairs and tables back there, all kinds of portraits of horses. Definitely the weirdest thing, you know? It's kind of like when you go to Scheels or like a Bass Pro Shop and then they have a furniture section. You're like, what? Well, I guess it's not the same thing at all because this is a furniture store. But I'm just saying, it's just bizarre. Not what you would expect. Sorry, just browsing the selection of strange Christmas lanterns over here. Look at this Santa in a whiskey bottle. That might be the ritziest looking snow globe I've ever seen. Fabergé would have liked that. Look at this. You can buy sunglasses in here. You can buy scarves over here. Hip flasks with your name on it. Flashlights and aprons. They've got cozy slippers. They got old guys rule t-shirts. All kinds of colorful socks and dish towels. I mean, haven't you ever wanted a sock daddy sock with some dogs on it? Got your kind of Route 66 signs. Just little knickknacks and patty wax, live, laugh, love things with dogs on them. Little signs for your home bar. You got some veteran signs back here, some fake neon signs, some mugs. Ooh, I think these are fancy gourmet soaps, maybe? They smell like it. Got diffusers. They got everything in here. Just one of the weirdest, oddest places, right? The Tom's Farms furniture store. First of all, you wouldn't expect there to be a furniture store at an old farm produce stand / somewhat of an amusement park now. Like I said, it's been going strong since like 1995, so clearly they're filling the needs of the locals. Look at that, the sun is going down behind those mountains over here. I wanted to come out here in the morning, but like I said, the health stuff, it has not been great. Particularly anytime I travel for the next couple of days, it's not so great for me. But the freaking Julio's jalapeno hot sauce, the Randomland hot sauce being on the store shelves, that's amazing. I know people have been coming out here to get it. I feel a little bit guilty snagging one for myself because of that, but I had to do it, right? After all, kiddos, And believe me, this is true. If you don't believe in your dream, nobody else is going to either. Having said that, though, I think that's about all the damage I can do here at Tom's Farms. It's about to be rush hour soon, so I guess it's time for us to hop back on the freeway and rush back home. I got the old random van out today. I took the Mustang. You know, the old classic Just-Stang, as some of the people in the Facebook group, the Sometimes Mob, call it. You can find a direct link to that at randomland.com if you want to join a nice Facebook group full of friendly Randomlanders. Anyway, that hasn't been running for a while. I took it into the shop today. I was just telling a friend, like, if all I get out of the hot sauce, because there's not a big profit margin, believe it or not, even at this price. I said, if all I get out of it is I can get that Mustang running back up to speed where I can take it out on the road again and hopefully get some of the electrical stuff done on this van. Nothing serious, just stuff like the fan motor, just little things that sort of kind of like the connections have rusted and stuff. That's nothing big. If I can get both of my cars running, I'll be a happy camper. Hey, at least the headlights and the windshield wipers work. What else can you ask for? Plus, air conditioning, who needs that? I got these little triangle windows right there. Oh yeah, all right. Let's go take a trip down memory lane, shall we? You're thinking memory lane, oh yeah. It's the van. The van inspires me. I just want to see a place that was very important to me in my youth out this way that I have not been by in a long, long time. So give me a couple minutes on the freeway and we'll roll up to our next stop. Oh, here we go. Main Street, Corona, California. Gosh, it's been a long time since I've been down here. Oh man, and I thought the hot sauce was surreal. This is surreal. Cow. All right, this doesn't look like much. This was the 99-cent store back in the day. Of course, most of those have closed now. I'm not here for the old 99-cent store. I'm here for this. This nondescript building right here in this little row. I guess you could call it a strip mall. This part right here, 683, was a massive part of my young life. And right up here, right there, is the first time I ever saw my band's name on a marquee, because this was a music venue, the legendary Showcase Theater. Man, all I gotta say about the neighborhood surrounding this, they've really cleaned this place up. Even this parking lot. Got new light poles, new concrete, it's all been resurfaced. Look at this, they got Circle City Tavern over here, nice and fancy. Some of this has new roofs on it, but all the buildings around here are all new. This place was built in the early 1970s as a movie theater, a one-screen movie theater. But in 1993, the same year this van was built actually, a fella by the name of Izad Solomon bought this place and turned it in to the Showcase Theater, an all-ages music venue, which only fit about 450 people in it, but to me, that was huge, right? I felt like I was playing on stage at Madison Square Garden or something like that. Because it had been a movie theater, there was a little marquee outside. It said the Showcase Theater, and you don't have that thing where you change the letters and you could put band names and stuff like that. I never parked out here, but this is where all the kids would line up for the shows. We'd roll out here to the Inland Empire, and let me tell you, back then Corona had a reputation for being a little rough around the edges. Of course, since prices have got so high in Orange County, so many people have moved out here from LA and Orange County, not to mention just the population expanding and exploding out here and the wineries and all this stuff. It's become quite fancy in Corona compared to how it used to be. I mean, look at that nice Starbucks down there. This is totally trippy, man. Yeah, we never parked out here. We parked around the back. There was quite a bit of security, obviously. Out here you had some security guards at the Showcase that the kids hated, but we bands adored. They were our buddies. There was only a few spots back here, but look at this. Now there's no spots. No spots at all. This is insane. This was a little parking lot back here. Oh my gosh, it's totally different. This hits me right in the feels, dude. My childhood, right back there, that brick part. We would park our van right there. If you were lucky, right? If you were the first band to show up, you get the spot right behind the load-in door. And I spent countless hours of my life here at the Showcase whenever we were playing, right back here in this parking lot, right behind the building, hanging out with the other bands and stuff. There was a tiny little green room in this place, but for the most part, this little back parking lot was the green room. You'd have our drum kits being set up out here on the ground and stuff. You'd see friends would come around the corner and kind of chit chat with you until security was like, hey, back in line or whatever. Gosh, even this street right here. I mean, the Bank of America across the road really hasn't changed, but it was just a lot more run down, you know, a lot more bars on the window and stuff like that. Just spent a lot of time out here. Such a trip. Now, I lost most of them when I got divorced, but if I can find any old photos of me at the Showcase, you'll be seeing them right here in this video. If you're not seeing anything but my face right now, it's a little awkward, but means I couldn't find any pictures. I was actually kind of hoping to pull my van back here and take a picture of it in the same spot where I have a picture of one of my old vans, my oldest van. It's a legendary place for me, not just because it's probably the biggest crowd I ever played to up to that point, all that stuff. This was it. Music mecca, right? Izat, not only did he own the showcase, but he also had some other like music festivals that he had done, like back in the 80s even. Like he was this crazy businessman. I think he might have been Egyptian. Could be wrong about that. I think for a while he even had a record label, but he was a legendary figure in the Southern California punks. I mean, everybody played here. Blink-182, every band you can think of played here at the Showcase Theater. You know, and like I said, this wasn't even like our CBGBs. This was like our Madison Square Garden or something like that. It was like, oh, you're playing the Showcase? You're headlining the Showcase? And the guy that ran the day-to-day here was a guy named Joe Lujan, who's still around. Izat, I think, has sadly passed away, but Joe, who we all called Joe Case, of course, he was the guy that would book us on these shows. If you're out there, Joe, I gotta say a big fat thank you just for all the love, man. This place is also legendary to me because the first time I ever did a cross-country tour, like coast to coast, so from West Coast all the way to seeing the Atlantic Ocean, the kickoff show for that tour, we were on tour with The Havoc, who's back now, punk band has resurfaced, was right here at the Showcase Theater. So I remember leaving from here and heading eastbound to Arizona and stuff. Like the first tour I was sort of ever responsible for. Sort of a big deal. And it's crazy because like in one way I'm tripping out how much has changed, but then in another way, I'm still driving around old Chevy vans, still wearing my leather jacket, hanging out in parking lots and traveling the country. So I guess not all that much really has changed. This is crazy right here. It wasn't just when we were playing here, right? Like Joe was so cool, he would let us come here even when we were handing out flyers or something like that for upcoming shows. The weird thing is, I know you're never gonna be able to see this, but the little ticket booth is still in here inside the window. I can see they're like gutting it out. If I put the phone against the window, you can kind of see back into there. That was the load-in door back there. I think the stage might still even be in there. That's amazing. Dude, I cannot believe the ticket window is still in there. They're gutting it, tearing it all out. Obviously, they're totally gonna transform this strip mall. I mean, the Showcase closed in 2008. I never expected the stage and the ticket booth to still be in there. It sucks because this was the one place where local kids, you know, had a place to go and see music. It was all ages, so no booze. It was friendly, relatively safe. The city is the one that closed it down in 2008, sort of forced the closure of it. I don't think it would ever happen now. The irony is, I bet some of the kids that were here at those shows are probably now in charge of stuff around here, right? Somebody contacted me a few years ago that they were making a documentary about the Showcase. I don't know if they ever finished it. I don't know if it ever came out, but yeah, man, Izat, rest in peace. Joe Case, we just had some of the best nights of our lives. I remember the first time Joe ever let us headline the Showcase Theater, right? And it was packed, it was sold out, it was awesome. Just the best nights ever. I don't remember what was next door. No food, no tavern like there is today. Just some like random businesses back then I wasn't interested in. But the 99-cent store was here. We used to go in there and just get the most random crap that we could. Like if we'd take $5 or $6 and just buy random 99-cent store stuff like loofahs or whatever, pots and pans, and then go on stage and give them out as prizes. So, I mean, this was just a lot of fun here. It feels really weird to be at that age where I'm like, going back to places that I hung out in my youth and getting nostalgic for them because they've changed so much. My friends Ben and Jordan and I were talking about this weird 25th anniversary edition of Green Day's Warning album, and then I realized, oh my gosh, that means it's like already the 25th anniversary of some albums I've played on. I think the first show I ever played at the Showcase was 25 years ago exactly. That tour I was talking about was 23 and a half years ago. Pretty darn wild, pretty crazy. Dude, I really wish, if they're gonna gut it, I wish someone would let me go in there and just take a piece of wood from that stage or from that ticket booth in there. It's so anonymous, so nondescript, and apparently it's been abandoned, the inside, since 2008. I don't think it's ever reopened as anything as far as I know. But once upon a time, this was a legendary rock club right here, the Showcase Theater. I can remember showing up one night just to pass out flyers. Some of our other friends' bands were playing in there, and it was like I think it was Face Down Fest or one of those crazy hardcore festivals. I just remember getting let in so I could go to the bathroom, and the entire bathroom was covered floor to ceiling in blood. You know, like that crazy hardcore scene, the windmills and all, just blood flying everywhere. I can also remember when we first started The Scarred in 2003, standing out here out in front of the showcase. Joe let me hang out and loiter to pass out flyers, right? Like, check it out, we started a new band, we're gonna be playing soon, blah, 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 blah. And another legendary punk rock band called The Skulls was playing that night. And the young guitar player in that band that was about my age, Kevin Preston, was standing out here with me like, oh dude, you started a new band? I just started a new band too called Prima Donna. I started my own band. And our bands became like band buddies. Kevin is now playing live whenever Green Day tours. He's the other live guitar player with them. And then I'm out here traveling around the country and sometimes parts of the world, making YouTube videos. It's just a very, very strange future we're living in. Actually, when we were back in Yuba City like a day or two ago, we were looking around town and Allie was looking at everything like that had changed and was a lot nicer. She goes, I feel like I'm in Back to the Future Part 2, like where Marty goes to his own future. You recognize the town, but it's a little different. That's what this is like for me. I basically went 25, 30 years into the future, and if only my 1999 self could see how things have changed. I'm just happy the building's still here, because honestly, I didn't know what I was gonna find. The back of it though, that's where we spent all our time, back behind this place. That little garden area or hipster patio dining area, whatever it's going to be, that right there, that was our hangout spot in a dirty, nasty parking lot full of broken glass and whatever else. I just can't believe it. It's totally, totally different. It's amazing. I remember walking down this way, we would always walk to like Del Taco during the show if we were hungry, or after the show, like the whole crowd would go down there to Del Taco, or if we were heading back home, we'd drive down the freeway to In-N-Out, and just those nights, you know? You're young, you're raging against the machine, down with the system. You don't know anything, right? You're just like stupid kids, you know, kind of living out a fantasy. But in another way, it was so real, like we really were doing it. There are very, very few places where a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid can feel like that, right? Like play on stage in front of people, or even just hang out, see your friends' bands, and you feel like you own the place. And that was all down to Izan and Joe. I mean, since those times, since 2007, 8, 9, everything's become like a pay-to-play venue. A lot of venues, it's really hard to get local bands in, at least in Southern California. During COVID, they wanted us to like do a GoFundMe for Chain Reaction. I was like, no, they charge local bands to play now, you know, not like that. Back in my time, so grateful to have had those experiences in my youth when there were still people who really cared about giving young people a space, a safe space to kind of work out who they are, you know, to become, like I said, Blink-182, No Doubt, any number of just early bands. Anybody who hadn't made it big yet by 93 played in this venue. And even some of those who were big would come here and play little surprise shows. And we played here with Menace from the UK. We played here with The Addicts. I want to say we played here with Madball, just all kinds of bands. I don't know, it just, back then it didn't seem like it was about who you played with. I mean, I guess it was for the ladder climbing bands and people who were more successful than me. But my thing was just like, oh, we get to play, we get to hang out. We really had a real scene and stuff like that. So anyway, rip to the showcase. I guess I spent too long here boring you guys with my tales from the past, but there it is, a very important place to me in my life. Now I've recaptured some of that magic with a new old crappy van. My adventures are a little bit different in nature these days, but really not so different. It's so funny because every once in a while I'll meet some like crazy crusty old punk rocker who's now got a desk job, who's like, oh man, you really changed. It's like, I really don't think I have changed all that much, right? DIY, still running my weird little mom and pop operation, still selling merch. Check out the hot sauce, you know? Just back then you had to be creative in this little tiny box, and we've shattered the box here. The Randomland box is the only box we care about now, and that box has no boundaries at all. Anyway, there's a little memory lane trip for you right here off Main Street in Corona, California. Now I've got to head back through traffic and go home and sleep well. I'll tell you what, if you had a time machine back then, and you just took me into the parking lot like ghosts and just showed me like, you're gonna be sitting here with a bottle of your very own hot sauce one day. What in the heck is this? This isn't what I wanted. I wanted to be a rock star. Well, not really, but you know, a punk rock star. Just goes to show you, sometimes like you have a dream and you really think that that's all you want in the world, but it's a healthy thing to stop, especially if it's not working out after a couple decades. Take a look around and think, do I have other dreams? Like, are there other things I wanna do? Are there other things that interest me in this world? Because you never know which dream is gonna hit. You only have one dream. It's like having one lottery ticket, right? If you have 10, you still might not win, but you got 10 times the chance. Anyway, Allie's waiting for cherry pie. Thanks for sticking with me through these weird times. It's been super difficult for me health-wise, but I'm still hanging in there. We'll be having some adventures, local adventures pretty soon, and pretty soon, just after Thanksgiving, we'll be traveling once again. We'll have a little more theme park stuff for you. At the moment though, remember what I said, you know, today kids might dream of becoming a YouTuber or a professional gamer, but there's nothing wrong with those dreams, but don't forget, there's other ones too. Open your mind, keep your mind open for other opportunities, other things that might interest you. I'm just saying, if you pick one path, you might never reach altitude. If you keep your mind open, you never know how high you can fly. And I personally may not be that successful, right? Like I don't own a house or a boat or anything fun like that. Sometimes I can barely pay the bills, but it's all relative, right? Like to me, I'm very successful. And for that, I have to thank all of you guys for participating with me. You know, Randomland, you guys are the closest thing I've ever had to that old school scene where you kind of knew everybody. It was like Cheers, you know, where everybody knows your name. And I feel like we built a little bit of a scene here. And speaking of that scene, that's why we have that Facebook group that we almost never talk about on YouTube. But go to randomland.com, you'll find a link to it and a link to purchase the hot sauce. I think we have like 200 or 300 bottles left of this next batch that we're getting. And then I just got told the next batch after that's not gonna come until mid-December or much closer to Christmas, so not in time to ship before Christmas. So if you still want a bottle, act fast. Don't worry if you can't get it right this second. There will be more available very, very soon. Until next time, my friends, this has been Justin Scard reporting from the old Showcase Theater. You've done your duty, you know the rest.